Don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into today's video. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crossing the Line. Today we're going to take a look at this first story we've got here from the Daily Mail. And if you didn't know it was happening in Australia, here's your evidence, here's your proof. 13-year-olds are getting mastectomies due to gender dysphoria here in Australia. They're going under the knife just because a psychiatrist, after one session, says that they have gender dysphoria and that the only and best option they have is getting surgery and starting hormone blockers and so forth. So we're going to take a look at this story here from the Daily Mail. Let's get into it. Inside the world of teenage transitions in Australia, where 13-year-olds are having their breasts removed after one letter from a psychiatrist, which teens can't even do in Thailand, and mums humble brag with before and after pics on Facebook. That's probably the most disturbing thing. I mean, if my kid came out as gay or transgender or something along those lines and it was only 13, I would be asking a lot of questions, because I know at 13, I'm pretty sure I wanted to be an astronaut or an army soldier or some sort of thing like that. And I definitely didn't have any thought of the future at 13 anyway. Australian girls as young as 13 are allegedly having their breasts surgically removed to make them look and feel more masculine as they undergo gender transition surgery. Australian girls as young as 13 are allegedly having their breasts surgically removed to make them look and feel more masculine as they undergo gender transition. One 15-year-old who has gender dysphoria documented having a double mastectomy in Australian plastic surgery clinic in a Reddit post. Describing experience as a 10 out of 10, the teen encouraged other adolescents who do not identify with the same sex as they were assigned at birth to undergo the same operation. The teen wrote an initial appointment with a surgeon in January lasted no more than 20 minutes, and a follow-up to take measurements took the similar length of time. The teen then called a psychiatrist requesting a referral for chest masculinization and sometimes called top surgery, and was told that it was unavailable for the next 11 months. You see the disgusting Facebook posts there. It's pretty disturbing. I mean, yes, you can be happy for your child accepting who they are, things like that. But when they're 13 and 15 years old, they don't know who they are yet, and they definitely don't have the mental capacity to go and get life-altering, and because you can't fix it. Like they say, hormone blockers are completely reversible, which is just completely wrong. You can't stuff up your entire hormone regimen and puberty at that age and not have some sort of drastic side effects. But when the teen had told the psychiatrist they'd already had a surgery date booked, he offered an appointment for a couple of months later. After just one consultation with the psychiatrist in May, the psychiatrist allegedly wished the teen luck and wrote a referral for a double mastectomy. The teen had spent 2 years saving up for the surgery, which took place on the 18th of June, and the parents covered the rest of $14,873 bill. Another teenager recently underwent a double mastectomy, was pictured smiling on Facebook with a post with his mother. 70-year-old mums wrote, "My baby's top surgery was today. It went well. He was so excited, still in recovery, but surgeon said it went well." Another mother replied that she'd been planning taking a 70-year-old to Thailand for the same procedure, but when he turned 18, the surgeons there would not perform the operation on anyone under 20. They won't do the surgery in Thailand on anyone under 20, but in Australia, we're doing it to 13 to 15-year-olds. A senior child and adolescent psychiatrist, Dr. Gillian Spencer, said that the Australian psychiatrists and surgeons who were recommending and performing such operations, Dr. Spencer said that young people requested approval letters from psychiatrists and they did not get what they want. They would post negative reviews on social media and go elsewhere. It is very concerning that there are a very small number of child psychiatrists in Australia whose clinical practices deviates markedly from those of their colleagues, Dr. Spencer said. The child psychiatrists are providing approval letters and allowing adolescents to go chest surgery, masculinization, mastectomies after as little as only one appointment. The names and contact details of the child psychiatrists are shared by the adolescents on social media to allow other adolescents to follow the same pathway to easily obtain surgery. Dr. Spencer said the psychiatrists who want to undertake the ongoing assessment of adolescents with gender dysphoria risk being publicly labelled as transphobic. She said an automatically affirming child's beliefs about their gender identity and giving them referrals for life-changing surgery without thorough examination was a radical approach. Adolescents often have unrealistic fantasies and cosmetic outcome of surgery, Dr. Spencer said of the children presenting with gender dysphoria. When a 15-year-old adolescent sits in front of them, no child psychiatrist has any other way of determining if the adolescent's gender dysphoria will desist or persist over the coming years. They struggle to understand the serious risks in surgery, such as hemorrhage infections, anaphylaxis, and anesthetic. They think these things could never happen to them. They also struggle to understand how debilitating persistent chest numbness, scarring, and phantom nipple pain could be. I didn't know there was such a thing as phantom nipple pain, but there you go. Dr. Spencer said that adolescents at the time of the development of many young people believe that they are felt now and how they would feel for the rest of their lives. 15 is too young to be making a decision that can have such profound long-term consequences, she said. See, these people are blackmailing their psychiatrists and doctors to signing off on their transgender and chest surgeries. Otherwise, they're going to be labelled as transphobic or homophobic on media, and their whole business could be ruined. Isn't that just a lovely little tactic that they're using? These parents should have their children forcibly removed from them. These doctors should have their licenses revoked and be put under investigation. These children should be put in psychiatric care until they can determine whether they are actually gender dysphoric or are they just subject to TikTok's algorithm, YouTube, and all that crap that is just being pushed on social media, and they've been tricked into thinking that they're the wrong gender. Because the numbers don't lie. It used to be less than 1% of the population was gay, non-binary, or whatever you want to call it now. It was queer. It's quadrupled. It's like something like 12 to 15% in, I think it was New Zealand. It was like 12% in Australia. It's roughly the same. It's exploded. And the advent of social media and this LGBT mafia and gay pride pushing agenda onto children has blown up those numbers. And it's brainwashing young children that have no idea of the future, no idea of what consequences are yet, into believing just because they're going through a hormonal change and going through what we all used to call puberty, but now they're calling it some sort of profound traumatic experience. They're getting brainwashed and pushed into these things because they think that's what's wrong with them. But when we went through puberty, even to someone of our age, millennials or anyone before these Gen Z kids, we went through puberty. We accepted what happened. It wasn't easy for any of us. It was confusing. It was weird. Do you know how hard it is being a 13, 15-year-old, whatever it is, 16-year-old, when you're a male, and how horny you are? My God, I'm sure girls go through the same thing, but just from my perspective, being a 14 to 15-year-old male and having those hormones pumping through you every single day to the point where you just feel like you're going to explode because you're so bloody horny and you just don't know what to do about it, besides the obvious. It's very, very traumatic, I suppose, is what Gen Z would call it. But it's life. That's how life works. That's how the human body's designed. That's how we've evolved. That's what we all have to go through. You don't get to just put puberty blockers on and go to a psychiatrist and get your tits cut off because TikTok told you to. It's insane. These parents should have their kids taken from them. And I don't say that lightly. Like, the government should have no personal information on us. They shouldn't be involved in our lives to the bare minimum, if anything. It's absolutely none of their business what we do as people and what we do with our own children. But this is when they're hurting children. They are actively hurting children. They are surgically altering them because of a fantastical idea that they're a different gender. When they have no idea, they might grow up and they might get to 20 years old or something like that, and they might go, well, do you know what? Yes, I still think I'm in the wrong body. Go and get it done then. Don't do it when you're 13 or 15. That's insane. And if they're doing it when they're 13 and 15, how much longer do we have before they go and do it when they're younger? When they do it prepubescent? Because I've seen plenty of videos of people affirming their kids as trans when they're 2 and 3. And it just so happens to be 99% of those people that are doing that are some sort of queer. They're either lesbian, they're a gay couple or something like that, or they're trans themselves. It just miraculously happens that their kid comes out as trans at the age of 2 when they're still shitting their pants and can't talk. It's insanity. These people need to have their kids taken from them. That's what else do you do in this situation where they're going in, putting their kids through a meat grinder to go and get surgery? If you were trans, if you feel like you were born in the wrong body, I have no idea what that feels like. But that's up to you to decide at an acceptable age. I think if you're 16 and you're still going through puberty and you think you're in the wrong body, you probably don't know any better just yet. Wait until you're 18, 20. Think about it, because even at 20 years old, you still have no idea what the world's about. You have no idea what's going on, but at least then you can have informed consent on the matter. I mean, these children do not have any idea what they're signing themselves up for. The amount of detransitioners that are popping up from this exact situation, their parents pushed them into it, or at least led them to this surgery and hormone blockers and all these things, and they're coming out of it now at the age of 25, 30 and older, saying that was the biggest mistake in my life and I wish I never did it. You do not know what you were doing when you were 12, 13, 14, 15. You have no idea. You can't think about anything other than your hormones and what they're telling you to think about. It's a stupid idea that they want us to decide what we want to do for the rest of our life as a career at that age, let alone what they want us to physically alter our bodies to be like. I didn't want to be doing what I do when I was that age. I wanted to be an astronaut or something stupid along those lines. I definitely did not think that I would still be an astronaut today, obviously. Who the hell wants to go into outer space? That's insane. It'd be like going to the bottom of the ocean in a tiny little cheap-ass submarine. It's very, very dangerous. Make sure they're using at least an Xbox controller, not a Logitech controller or something along those lines. We'll keep reading this fucked up story, shall we? At 15, a young person has likely not experienced a full course of physical puberty and is unlikely to complete all the developmental tasks in adolescence, which can assist in healing gender dysphoria. After seeing the 15-year-old girl's Reddit post, women's rights advocate Leah Whitston made 2 phone calls to the clinic to confirm if it was true. Both times, she was told the clinic would perform top surgery on girls as young as 13 if they had a referral letter from a psychiatrist written in the past 3 months. I felt sick to myself. I can't even get a referral from a doctor to go and get help with weight loss. You know, go and get a tablet or something along those lines. They just look at you and go, no, just, figure it out. I'm like, yeah, I know that. Obviously, it's pretty fucking simple how to lose weight. It's not hard science, but maybe because of my shitty lifestyle and my health issues, I might be able to get a little medical help. But no, they just go, no, they go do it. But if I went in there and said, I want to get my dick cut off and I want to get a nice pocket pussy put in, they'd probably be like, fucking, here you go, bro. Here's a couple of fucking referrals. Go and get your snatch put in. Jesus Christ. I felt sick to my stomach, Mr. Whiston said. It's just evil that I know it's wrong. They must be psychopaths to do this to young girls. Dr. Spencer said that there is an overwhelming pressure on doctors to support childhood medical transition at the risk of professional sanction. I assure you, this is not part of the culture war, she told a women's right forum in Sydney last week. This is a really serious child protective issue. Adjunct Associate Professor Carleen Gribble, that's a terrible name, from Western Sydney University Institute School, midwifery and researcher of the first study of the trans man who shared his pain at not being able to breastfeed his baby. Professor Gribble said that he had spoken to women who did not understand the complexity of breast structure when they had the chest masculinization mastectomies. It had not been made clear to them that surgery would mean that they would not be able to breastfeed. I have seen the discussions amongst young people online suggesting they would believe that surgeries can be reversed, and even in some cases the breast tissue will regrow if it comes off testosterone. 18-year-old detransitioner asked me if there was any way that she could breastfeed, even use a breastfeeding supplementer. It was heartrending to need to explain to her that given the type of surgery she had described about her nipple grafts would unlikely, and I could offer her empathy for her grief. That's terrifying. They get to an age where they want to have kids and they have a child, and then they find out then that they can't breastfeed and they'll never be able to breastfeed their child. These doctors are not informing children, not that these children, even if they were informed, would be able to make an appropriate decision on the matter. They're not informing them that they will never be able to breastfeed again. They go and tell them that if they just get off the testosterone, they'll be right. That's insane. Anna Kerr, a lawyer and female legal clinic, was involved in the first case against a psychiatrist who approved the removal of a 90-year-old's breast after just one appointment. Jay Langdonitis later regretted the procedure and is suing the psychiatrist for professional negligence. Ms. Kerr said that the protections in vulnerable young people, such as medical treatments, were inadequate and varied from state to state. In a case in 2020, known as Imogen, the Family Court clarified medical practitioners cannot proceed with gender-affirming treatment for a minor without the consent of both parents. Unfortunately, obtaining consent from vulnerable young people and their concerned parents is only too easy for those ostensibly wielding medical authority, Ms. Kerr said. Indeed, the recent introduction of gay conversion therapy bans, which have been inappropriately extended to cover gender identity, effectively mandate gender-affirming treatments. However, any health practitioner acting in good conscience could be guided by their duty of care with patients, foreseeable harm of life-altering surgeries hastily undertaken in youth. So at least there's some way about it. They can go and sue the doctors, and they should. If a doctor goes and cuts off parts of your body because you had one appointment with a psychiatrist and they told you that you were the wrong gender, you should be able to sue that psychiatrist because they are completely inept at their job. Any psychiatrist, any medical practitioner would have to have multiple meetings with a person, get to know the person, get to know what their life is like, get to know what they do, get to know how they feel before they go and get something as massively life-altering as gender-reaffirming care, as they call it, or as we like to call it, mastectomy surgery, getting a penis cut off, all sorts of things. They're not like little, it's gender-affirming care. It's not like they take you into a booth and they just pamper you and tell you you're going to be okay. They take a knife to you, they put you under anesthetic, they knock you out, maybe even put you in a coma, and you're a child, and they're cutting body parts off of you that can never regrow, then pumping hormones into you that are altering your body chemistry forever. And they just call it gender reaffirming care because it sounds nice, because everything has to be this fake facade of love and care when all it is about pushing an insane ideology onto children to capture them at a young age, when they're most vulnerable and when they're least likely to know what they're doing. This is grooming on a different kind of level. It's insane. These people should have their kids taken from them. The doctors should be fired, arrested, sent to prison if found guilty of malpractice, and these children should be rescued from these insane ideologues. It's disgusting. What do you guys think anyway? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.